afternoon. Investigations are continuing after a fire ripped through a parade of shops in Hampshire. The blaze broke out in a bin behind shops on Meeting House Lane in Ringwood yesterday morning. It's not yet clear when the shops will reopen.
Well, I got a little text saying there's a fire. I was expecting that it'll be a little fire. Then I was sent a link to YouTube and saw the fire, and I was a bit worried then, but I was down here yesterday morning just after it had all sort of been put out, and then we just come in to try and assess the damage really and see what we can do.
Meanwhile, police want to speak to anyone who may have seen an arson attack in Kidlington in Oxfordshire. A man, woman and 5-year-old boy managed to escape through the windows of their house on Bassett Way in the early hours of Friday. All of them had to be treated for breathing in smoke. Police say they were lucky to make it out of the house. Southern Rail drivers have voted in favour of strike action in the ongoing dispute over driver-only trains. It's going to cause major disruption for passengers in the run-up to Christmas, with 3 strikes planned in December. Govia Thameslink Railway, who owns Southern Rail, say the walkouts are unnecessary and unjustified. A man has been arrested on suspicion of dangerous driving after a pedestrian was hit by a car in Reading. A 30-year-old man was left with serious injuries in the early hours of Saturday on London Road. The 43-year-old has been released on bail. Police in Dorset are looking for a wanted man who has breached the conditions of his release from prison. 45-year-old Daniel Lee was serving an 18-month sentence for assault. He regularly visits Weymouth and Poole. Now it's one of the biggest town centre regenerations in the country, and now plans for the second phase of the project to transform Bracknell have been revealed. The first phase, the building of the Lexicon shopping centre, is nearing completion. Developers are now turning their attention to the site of the Bentle store.
Now people are genuinely excited. They're looking forward to being able to shop here, to come and spend time here. But also for other people, it's about the 3,500 plus jobs that we're going to be creating here. It's a new place for them to work right on their doorsteps.
Let's take a look at the weather now with all the details this afternoon. Here he is, it's Simon.
From puddles to paddling, driving through Europe. Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Well, yes, it's dry and fine, but it's not the warmest of days. Temperatures a little disappointing, peaking at around 7 or 8 degrees, but where there's no wind, thanks to that sunshine, not actually feeling too bad. Winds probably around 5-10 miles an hour inland, a little bit breezier along the coast. Of course, if you like cold, tonight is going to be bitterly cold as the temperatures plummet after dark. Winds fall light where you can see the blue, that's where the frost is going to develop, and it will be a widespread frost at that, with temperatures down into the -3, -4 in some rural spots. So chilly start to tomorrow, and the temperatures are going to struggle all day, probably getting to around 5 or 6 for most of us.
Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
And Simon, Fred and I will be here at 6 with all the ITV News, Sport and weather here in the Meridian region. But from the lunchtime team, thank you very much for your company. Have a great afternoon. Hope to see you later. Bye for now.